Hi, I wanted to talk to you about mesocosms today. So, what is a mesocosm? A mesocosm is a sealed, if you look at this picture over here, it is a sealed, closed system. And so it really replicates Earth pretty well if you've got it balanced, which is the hard part. So it's a sealed terrarium. Now, what's a terrarium? A terrarium is just like an environment that you make to grow things, plant life and nature. Sometimes you include animals, and a mesocosm is just that, but sealed, like tight, with a lid. And so the seal is actually really important for mesocosms. So, what does that mean as a whole? What do I need? What does it look like? So here is a picture of one in basically like a mason jar, just a jar, and it's got some of the different layers that you'll need. In a second, I'll show you my mesocosms that I built. So the first thing you want to put down are small pebbles. I believe they call them pea-sized gravel. So just little rocks. And what that will do is it kind of acts as a water filter, as like bedrock, sort of, if you will go there. And then I've seen a lot of them that recommend putting activated charcoal. Why would you need activated charcoal? Activated charcoal is a good substance to keep mold away, especially in a sealed system like this. The water cannot escape, and which is a good thing as long as you have your water measurements correct. And so that'll just keep mold from, kind of cultivating, because mold loves a dark, moist, warm place, and a mesocosm is the perfect environment for that. Um, You've got some moss. And so, really, what that is it's not the green fluffy moss that we think of. It's just a layer um, of dried moss. And you could use ones that look like this. Mine, I'll show you in a second, is darker and grainier, but that's another water filtration system. So this whole thing is just to filter that water down and to keep it clean and fungi free, and so that it can keep cycling, and that plant will continue to be watered by clean water for the plant. Okay, and then above the moss, you're going to put a potting mix. I would recommend trying to avoid things. What's the brand? Miracle Grow. You can use it. I've used it in the past, but Miracle Grow is usually really, really high in nitrogen, like really high in nitrogen, and that's because it feeds the plants that are in soil normally. And so some of those need a little extra boost, but in a closed system, there's nowhere for that extra nitrogen to go. And so sometimes you end up with some nitrogen burning on the leaves of your plant and things like that. So you can use it if you want, and see if it works for you. Maybe if you mix it with some of the sand, like is recommended, it might work a little better for filtering out some of that, because you'll actually use less Miracle Grow in that case. Um, but up to you, totally up to you. Okay, so then some things that people have recommended as far as plants. Uh, Ferns are one of the top recommended plants to use in a mesocosm. They need low light and high humidity, and so this is the perfect place for them. They also suggest moss, and so putting moss around your fern, or in different places, or you can just grow moss if you want. You don't even have to grow a fern. The plants are clearly of your choice. Now, my recommendations for plants are things that deal with high humidity well, because this is going to be a humid environment, and things that do not need a lot of light. I made the mistake my first year of making a mesocosm with a tropical plant because I thought, okay, it needs high humidity, right? Like I'm thinking, no, I was so dumb. I picked one that was a high light plant, like it needed a lot of intense light, and I was like, well, I have grow lights. Turns out putting grow lights on a mesocosm is like the worst thing you can do. Um, so they want you to pick things that do not need a lot of light. So low light is recommended the most. I am trying one currently with a medium plant, a medium light requirement plant. Um, we'll see how that goes. It does say to not put it in just absolute direct sunlight, to put it in indirect sunlight, because it could overheat and it is a closed system and you could literally cook your plant. Okay, so that's it for mesocosms. I'm going to pause this and get my mesocosm and show you. And I'm back. Okay, so I've got my mesocosm. I took the lid off because I'm struggling with my humidity balance currently. I personally think the humidity is too high, so I took the lid off to try to balance it. You can see my layers. I have two different kinds of gravel, and what I've done is it doesn't matter the color of your gravel. I just had 2 bags. So this is just a gravel I got from Walmart in the aquarium department. So it's just aquarium gravel. And then that's activated charcoal, which I also got from the aquarium department at Walmart. It's in there near the reptile section and the aquarium section. So anyway, it's just a little container of activated charcoal just hanging out, perfect for what I needed. This is my moss that I'm using to filter, and then this is my soil. Now, as far as plants for this one, I've chosen to do an African violet and some moss. Now, the African violet is a medium light plant, and so this is my experimental one with the medium light. You can really see my layers like pretty well right there. So I'm going to go get my other one and show you that one, which is just more of a natural one with ferns. So I'm going to pause again. Okay, I'm back with my other one that I made. This one I did a more traditional one. It has a fern and some more moss in it. I wanted to do one that was kind of just basic so I could keep it in the classroom and let y'all look at it. This one, I have the same layers, but it's just harder to see. I went out on a limb. So there's my gravel. You can see my gravel. And then I've got my charcoal, and then I've got a layer of the moss, you can see. And then I did another layer of topsoil, and then I topped this one with some moss, like the dry moss that is recommended. I sort of worked it into the soil and layered it on top. Um, so I did my own little experimental one with this one, just to see if I could put that dried moss in some different layers and help with my moisture content, because that's always my struggle. Is I overwater it and then there's mold and my plants. It's a problem. So anyway, I thought I would show you my mesocosms. If you have any questions on building mesocosms or building a terrarium, please just let me know. I will see you guys soon.